What are you guys doing today? Today I wanted to make an update on the Arborvitaes here. So these trees, after we did the pruning back in December, are looking quite great, and they're actually putting on some new growth. I just wanted to show you guys that to you. And now as we're getting to, actually today's pretty cool, tomorrow is going to be even cooler. We actually had ice on the fountains in the morning. We had a freeze, but we did have some extremely hot days, like 85. So we'd know now if there was any damage, because I'm always kind of scared of these trees with the low-hanging limbs down there. As you can see, some of them are scalped, and the dogs do this. So you can see there, that one's pretty highly scalped, and that limb runs all the way up into this area, but it's putting on new growth. So you always track your limbs down, and you usually find out if you have like voles or anything eating your Arborvitaes later in the spring, like when it gets real hot. So we've already been through that time, so now we'll know. And you'll find in the front of your tree, say, because these trees, you got to be careful because they have some limbs depending on the what is that? Is that a growth? Oh, that's a stick. They have some limbs where some of the limbs can look like they come from the bottom but to the top, and that can be dangerous for the health of the tree. You might think, yeah, if they destroy the bottom, it's only at the bottom because that's all they can reach. But like if you got dogs, but no, not with these arbs, because when you got the bottom here, this limb is coming from the bottom, right? Well, actually, if we follow that up, that limb goes all the way up to the stuff right up there, way up there. So if them dogs were to chew through that, or a rodent or whatever, a pest was to chew through that, then that whole half the tree would die. So that's kind of what you're dealing with there with these trees. So I did want to point that out. Always watch these trees. You'll notice a bunch of brown in the tree like this. So this is a limb that was disconnected from the branch, and that's what it turned into. So you can tell the difference. That's what you're going to see all over your tree if it was a branch or a limb underneath was infected with something or girdled. A lot of the times that's what will happen with these trees. But you can see some of these spots we have on this tree is because of the scraps or damage due to the saw I have created to that small branch. That's nothing. You can't even see it actually. So they already have shown themselves, and they look very great. The trees, there is a couple dead limbs, but by the end of the summer those will have completely dropped off the tree. But we can see, let's look at some of the growth these trees have got. Now we'll cross over here, you can see in the neighbor's yard we have pruned all this too, and it's growing. So I usually keep way up on that side. But we can see if we look at the tree, all that lighter colored growth, all that lighter colored branches there is new growth. And if we go look at, I'm not noticing as much on the lower branches of this tree, only the higher ones. And this tree doesn't seem to be doing it as much as this tree. But if we go over to this one here, we can see the cones, or the, the flowers that the Arborvitaes create, the northern white cedar Arborvitaes. So these are them in their growth stage. I don't know if this is due to a little stress from all the cutback we've done, but you can see here this limb has, and it seems to be certain limbs that get all this, because this last year was the limb that had it too. But if we look here, we can see all them cones, or little flower cones. So those are going to be nice. It's going to add, it actually adds a nice feature, the brown cones on the tree. Some people don't like them because it makes the tree look dead, but I don't agree. So it looks like this side ain't getting as much growth, but I'm assuming it is. But I'm assuming it's because it's just the sun, so it'll come out later in the year. You can kind of see through it, but it doesn't bug us. These trees got a lot of work done to them, in the last year. So these things used to be touching the ground, touching the house, scraping the siding, and now if we take a back look from them, they aren't even, that one's still kind of close, but it isn't. And this one was almost up to the thing up there. So we took these down quite a bit. And the backs, you couldn't even put your foot right here. They were approaching onto the stairs. I can fit a hose in there. And that was mostly dead stuff. So we got a lot of work done on these trees. I mean, opened them up, cleared them out. So these have got a lot of work, but you can see this one's full of spruce cone, or of arb cones. So I call them cones, but they're really flowers, but it's technically the same as a cone on a spruce tree, or a cone on a pine tree, or a berry on a juniper tree. So if we look at these, this tree here has never produced berries. It never has, and it died rapidly. I've talked about that before. But these here do produce berries, these bushes here, these shrubs here. This one over here producing the most berries. Now, I'm gonna let this one go. I think I'm gonna let all these do their thing this year, with them maybe a little pruning. This one I'm gonna let kind of go crazy again. Not as it was, but you know, a little bit crazier. I'm not gonna keep them formally pruned. I'm done with that, actually. I wanna let this grow a little bit. Not out to flipping here where it was. That's never gonna happen, but just out a little bit, to kind of fluff out a little bit is what I want that one to do. I'll keep these all pruned up, but I want that to kind of go. And the same with those, so we can have a wild evergreen look in this area. Because, yeah, but that one produces berries, so I'm gonna have to come out and, you know, watch, because I love the berries, but I gotta watch and make sure that the dogs can't get them, because they are poisonous to dogs, the juniper berries. These are not. The flowers off cedars here are not poisonous to dogs, because they're just a flower. They don't have anything inside of them. But that's all basically the tree's reproduction, is either the flowers on the... So these, the arbs, or this is a northern white cedar version of the arb, but they produce these flowers as the cones. And the fir trees produce the sharp, pokey cones. Or no, that's the fir, and the upright. And then the spruces produce the papery cones, and the pines produce the hard, woody cones. But you can see how these are going and how they're looking. We haven't really put on any growth yet, but that'll come. Hey, quiet. That'll come later in the year, and I am excited to see that. With all the work we've done on these trees, I am really excited to see what they do. And you can see the tops are pretty much equal, and they're really pruned down, as we made that video back in December. So I am excited to see these. We will make another update on July 11th.